So one of the new best money-making methods just dropped here inside of Fisch, and you need to take advantage of it before it goes away inside of the game. I'm going to be showing you basically all the best spots to abuse this and just a lot more that you're going to need to know to make much money as humanly possible. Anyways, before I start this video, if you want to be entered in my OnlyFlex giveaway, all you guys have to do is leave a like on this video, comment your username down below, and hype this video. Doing all three of these things will get you entered in the giveaway if you want to actually win. Anyways, without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get into this video. So the very first thing I want to show you is obviously the best spots before I show you the new method, because these spots are really good just overall. Now, I'll also give you my rod recommendations, but genuinely it does not matter too much on which rod you actually pick out of the couple that I'm going to show you, because there's a lot of good ones. So the very first thing I want to do is show you the first island, and then I'll show you a couple of the rods, and then I'll show you the method and all of that, and then a couple other spots. So let's head over to Castaway Cliffs right here. This is going to be the first spot. Now, all of you guys probably already know about this, so I'll try to keep this part brief because I know a lot of you already know this area. You can use a couple of different rods over here. Personally, I would recommend either the OnlyFlex. This one is just a decent all-around rod. It's not even like super good, but it's just, you know, a decent all-around rod. It's one of the best, obviously, but it's not like insane for money. But I'll show you which ones are really good for money in a second. But as you can see, we got that pretty much first try. No Aurora going or anything like that. I'll show you the strategy for getting a lot of like super rare items like this. But the OnlyFlex rod is something that I would recommend. The next thing I would recommend is probably the tryhard rod. If you take a look on the wiki and then you go to the tryhard passive that it gives you, it will actually give you a ×10 sell value on the actual fish. So you're going to be making 10 times the amount of money the normal fish would make you. Now, if you go ahead and pop an Aurora, well, on top of that, you're going to be making a lot more money. But again, that is not the method I'm even showing you in this video. Those are base methods that most people already know. So you can use the OnlyFlex Nate's rod. You can also use, obviously, the tryhard rod on this zone. Now, this zone is pretty good. I'm not going to spend too much more time here, but, you know, genuinely, if you want to catch some really good stuff, this is the area that I would go ahead and advise that you do it. Obviously, after the nerf, we make a lot less money than we used to make. But yeah, it is still a really good spot. You can get a lot of good stuff really quickly. So let me show you the next area, and then a couple more rods that I recommend, and then I'll show you how you can incorporate this new broken method. And the reason why I'm showing you the locations before I show you the method is that way you can actually apply them correctly. So I'm going to show you a couple more spots really quickly. All right, so we're going to head over to Moose Groove Island. If you don't know where that is, you can just kind of zoom out and you'll see Moose Groove Swamp. It's not actually even called Moose Groove Island. It's called Moose Groove Swamp. So we're going to head over here, jump out, and you're going to see back here, this little area. This is where we need to head, obviously, where you can see these carrots. And there's going to be a secret way to go ahead and get in, which is going to be in this little tunnel right here. And this is going to be the carrot place. Now, this has been nerfed, I know, a little bit, at least since the last time, but this zone is still really good. I don't know why, but it is just genuinely pretty underrated still. And you can get some really good stuff in this zone. I haven't done a ton of fishing here, but it is highly rated as one of the best zones. I don't know exactly why. I just know the fish here sell for a decent amount. But yeah, you can go here. This is a really good zone to go ahead and work on and work within. Anyways, that zone right there is pretty good. So let's go ahead and kind of talk about this new method to basically catching stuff that is super rare that will make you a lot of money really quickly. So the very first thing, obviously, using Aurora totems, which we've already talked about, but you want to first head to this new island that has been added to the game, or not new island, this new system that's been added to the Sunstone Island. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's right here. So we're going to head all the way over to the new Sunstone Island right here. Now, on the Sunstone Island, you're going to want to just kind of walk over here, fly up to this area right here. Now, please note, this method does not work unless you've gone ahead and completed a couple of things. So let me first show you what you have to complete. So Merlin, obviously, over here has been, or I mean, buffed, and you can basically go ahead and talk to her and buy stuff in the shop. Now, this is actually groundbreaking and is going to be super beneficial to you. So we have the temporary luck boost, and we also have the temporary lure boost, as well as the temporary XP boost. I'll go ahead and just buy that. And these are so cheap. As you can see, we're gonna get a lot more XP, we're gonna get a lure, and we're also going to get a lot more lucky. And we don't even have an Aurora going, and we're gonna catch a lot of good stuff. Now, you see where I'm going with this, but it does not stop there, because if applied with the right rod in the right location, you're going to make a ridiculous amount of money. So I'm gonna go over a couple of the rod recommendations and why you should use this. Also, obviously, you're gonna want to use an Aurora totem. The Aurora totems have been nerfed, so they are a lot easier to go ahead and buy. So if you're using Nate's blade in any of those locations I showed you, we actually have one more location that I want to show you real quick. You want to head over with the Traveler's Whistle to the Calm Zone right here. Teleport to the Calm Zone. This is also an extremely good and underrated spot. Let's just see what I catch. Give me a second, because I want to show you how good this zone actually is. You can see what I catch. That was off the bat. That was okay. It was just a mullet, but it was still, you know, decent. Anyways, this zone is really good for for money, kind of like what I was saying a second ago. If we get into Nate's Blade, which is going to be one of the rods I want to talk about really quickly, especially in regards to making a lot of money really quickly. This right here has a really good passive, which is going to multiply basically any fish you caught by 2. Now, obviously, that is not as good as a try hard, but the benefit to Nate's rod, it makes it so easy to catch fish. So, especially if you're not one of those type of people that AFK macros a lot, then obviously that's going to be really good for you. The best enchantment that I would recommend putting on that rod specifically, Nate's, is going to be either Sea Overlord and Tryhard or Sea Overlord and Sea Prince. That's going to be really good. Now, for the Ani Flarix rod, which I was talking about a second ago, we're going to the Ani Flarix, and the recommended enchanting is going to be Rage and Sea Prince, or you could use Herculean and Chirogenic, but honestly, optimal grinding is Rage and Sea Prince. And then if you can't do that, you could do Piercing and Chaotic. Those ones work as well for the Ani Flarix rod. And then for the Tryhard rod, we kind of talked about this earlier, but that is going to be Herculean and Chirogenic, or Controlled if you can't get one of those. But yeah, those rods are going to make it extremely easy to grind a lot of money very quickly. Now, another thing I want to quickly go ahead and show you is these new things called luck potions. And I actually went ahead and was able to get some. You can get these from the daily rewards. So I'm going to go ahead and use a luck potion. And as you guys can see, we have a Lucky, we have Lucky IV, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop an Aurora and basically show you what the power is of this if you go ahead and use all of these at the same time. So these may be really hard for me to catch. I'm just going to be completely honest. So I'm going to just leave this running, and you'll see really quickly that we're going to get a lot of good stuff very, very fast. Very, very fast. So we have an Aurora going, we have Lucky, we have another Lucky boost going, we have some XP boost going, we have a lot going. But yeah, applying all of these is going to make you a ridiculous amount of money. As you can see, my XP is going up a lot more than it was because we're making, I think, like ×2 XP or something like that. But yeah, this is one of the exotics, I believe, that we just caught really easily maybe after the 3rd or 4th fish. Or not, that's not an exotic, never mind. That's just a mythic. But yeah, you guys get the point. The mana rays sell for a ton. You're going to make a ton in any of these zones using this new method right here, especially if you're using the right zones and the correct rods. Okay, here's another one that we just got. Boom. Genuinely not too hard to even catch these, especially if you're using a rod like the Ani Flarix rod or whatever. But yeah, we can catch mana rays and all sorts of stuff really quickly. But yeah, that is pretty much all for this video. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Helps out the channel a ton. We're on the way to 50,000 subscribers. So make sure you guys